Often, when we focus on things we don't understand instead of those we do, we can feel lost and confused. You ever had that experience? Spend all your time studying and working and pondering and suffering over things that you don't know, and all you feel is lost and confused. Instead of going back to the fundamental beliefs and saying, do I know that Christ is my Redeemer? Do I know that he is my Creator? Do I know that he not only has the authority but the right to save me? Sometimes then we can kind of get caught up in the practice of our religion instead of the core fundamental beliefs of our religion, and we become like the Israelites. You'll remember that when the Israelites were near Mount Sinai, they were then tormented by serpents, right? Fiery serpents. And Moses was given a solution. He was to create a brazen serpent, to raise it on a pole, and all that would look at that would be saved. They would be healed. If you didn't, you died. Okay? If you didn't, you died. But if you did, you were saved. Well, that's a great opportunity for them to point to Christ, right? Because we later in the New Testament, Christ says why that was the case. Just as the brazen serpent was lifted up on the staff, so will the Son of Man be. So it was pointing them to Christ. I think that's the part, I don't think I know, that was the part that's missing in the record, but it was obviously part of Moses' dialogue with them. They were pointing them to Christ. But what happens to that brazen serpent? It then is placed in the temple, and then after the temple is destroyed, it's rescued, and King Hezekiah has to destroy the brazen serpent. Why does he have to destroy the brazen serpent? Because they began to worship it. They were worshiping the doctrine, the symbol of their faith, and they were worshiping the ordinance, worshiping the practice rather than the Savior. So when our practices cease to point us to Christ, but instead become the focus of our faith, we're like the Jews with the brazen serpent.